Inside a fragile book of messy handwriting and curious sketches, Leonardo da Vinci kept a secret. The greatest mind of the Renaissance was obsessed not with empires, but with puddles, stream beds, and the way water curved past a mill wheel. This is the Codex Leicester. Tonight, follow a notebook on a quiet journey through small villages and winding rivers, and discover why a 500-year-old page still changes how we see the world. The Codex Leicester is a bound collection of Leonardo's restless questions, not grand theories, but practical notes and sketches. Unlike his famous art, these pages read like a field journal. Wells, water wheels, village springs, and the rhythms of everyday labor. Leonardo's science came from country lanes, not royal palaces. What mattered most? Ordinary detail, patiently observed. Leonardo once watched a river all morning. His notes describe currents swirling around rocks, the lift of foam, and small whirlpools capturing leaves, the same things a town miller or fisherman learns by heart. His sketches decode why banks erode, how floods follow rain, and how animal tracks shape the mud. These details, not theory but lived reality, were Leonardo's first science lab. One codex sketch could warn a village when floods are coming. His left hand moved right to left across the page. Leonardo often wrote in mirror script, perhaps to keep curious strangers out, perhaps to slow his own thoughts. Reversing each word made him reconsider every observation, like a townsperson checking both sides of a path before crossing. In this script, a diary becomes both private record and puzzle. He draws the curve of a millstone, the way water pools behind a dam, the fish darting in the shallows. The Codex's sketches show equipment any small-town worker would recognize. For Leonardo, these are not mere objects but lessons, each groove and splash a chapter in the story of village life. Leonardo never saw science as a list of answers. Each entry in the Codex begins with a simple observation. Why do tides rise at certain times? How does worn rock shape a stream? He built little experiments, narrating each finding in plain language. A puddle was his laboratory, a trickle his test case. From these fragments rose stories and laws of nature. From puddle to sea, the same rules, beautifully observed. After Leonardo's death, the notebook passed quietly from scholar to collector. Once called the Codex Hammer for a later owner, it became famous when Bill Gates bought it in 1994. Suddenly, the public could see its pages in museums, on tour, in classrooms. The Codex became not just a historical object, but a living story. Many pages could be a farmer's log: rainfall, stream levels, clarity of water, the way stone layers tilt. Leonardo tracked these like an inspector, but added mathematics, drawings, even invented graphs. Here was science grounded in the ordinary, written for anyone who listens to land and weather. Today's climate scientists still rely on persistent observation, measuring rainfall, watching erosion patterns, predicting floods. These are rooted in the Codex tradition. Leonardo's careful record-keeping shaped a model. Local evidence first, universal laws second. The little notes of yesterday's village are still the foundations of today's science. Picture him at the village market, talking fish prices, asking why tides run high, sketching a fisherman's weathered hands. This curiosity, the willingness to learn from anyone, anywhere, may be the Codex's true gift. The world's greatest notebook is also a ledger of empathy. When a page is displayed, visitors lean close, seeing mirrored lines the way Leonardo wrote them by candlelight. For many, the Codex is intimate, familiar, like finding an ancestor's notes on how to fix a fence or predict rain. It's unexpectedly comforting. The future, Leonardo reminds us, is written in careful attention. Leonardo could have been a distant genius locked in history books. Instead, the Codex Leicester feels like a neighbor's notebook. Water, weather, stone, and patience. Small observations, big ideas. To see the world as Leonardo did, slow down, and notice the smallest clues. That's where great science begins. If you enjoyed this look at science's most curious notebook, subscribe for more stories that connect big ideas with everyday life. Find sources and a downloadable guide in the description below.